Hey everyone, today is Friday the 19th of July 2019. This is The Gap episode 476. I'm Luke Lawrie, Joab Gilroy is here, and I am a little bit jet lagged is the word? Not jet lagged, maybe sleepy.
That's jet lag, dickhead. But it's
No,
cool.
well-
It's cool you proving how jet lagged you are by failing to recognize that you were jet lagged and instead misattributing it to sleepy. We're starting an hour after we're supposed to, dear listeners, because we confirmed that we'd start an hour ago. Luke, I was like, "Oh, should we start at this time?" And Luke was like, "Yep, sounds good." And then half an hour ago, I was like, "What's going on?" And he hits me with the I don't remember ever sending that message. So no, not jet lag, just sleepy, right? You know, just generally sleepy. It's got nothing to do with having been on a plane or anything like that. Luke doesn't get jet lagged. He's just generally sleepy.
That's what it is.
Yeah, my bad. My mistake. There's too much energy. We've got to take this down. Okay, I listened to Nate's add-on podcast, and we gotta go for the same fucking vibes.
All right, yeah, I listened to it as well on the plane. On the I had already listened to the first part just to make sure it was like
not just
listenable.
Shitting us the whole time.
Yeah, and then I didn't get a chance to listen to the rest of it until on the plane.
Well,
so I did listen to all of it. Yes,
he hits. Well, I'm only halfway in, but he hits it with that energy, that fucking late night DJ energy. He's like, yeah. So Luke and Joab asked me to record my thoughts on E3 2019.
It's like the love guru, right?
Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, what's going on? Fucking jeez. I feel like I should be listening to this at 1 a.m., you know, like in bed, and my mum told me to go to sleep or something, but I'm secretly listening to Nate talk about fucking E3 or some shit. It's weird. But I'm about it.
He put more editing into that than what we do every week, I feel
way more.
Because he was talking about, like, stopping and starting it, like, every 10 minutes because he was, like, coughing up a storm.
He's having these coughing fits, and we're just like...
Didn't even notice it.
Like, can you hear us cough? Yeah.
No, you got a plane every fucking 10 minutes on this show.
Right? Like, fucking Jesus. Editing out fucking coughs and shit. That's the thing, right? You've listened to their other podcast, right? The podcast Nate does with his girlfriend Katie. Here's My Movie. So I'm an avid listener to that one, mostly because I like hearing their versions. What I'd love to hear them do in that podcast is get more into their versions of the fucking movies. Yeah, and talk about video games largely for hours on end. Talk about what their version of the movie is more, because they do like a breakdown of the movie, and then they talk about their version, like how they'd fix it, basically. And I find the how they'd fix it part to be the most fascinating bit. But I don't know what. Maybe it's because it comes at the end, and the tail end of podcasts. I don't know if you've noticed with our podcast, but the news part of this podcast is always like, and here's the news. It's done in fucking like 3 fucking minutes total. Like, we'll talk for fucking 45 minutes about a game we've talked about for the last 40 fucking podcasts. But suddenly the brand new news has come up. Tim Willits is leaving id. And we're like, yeah, so Tim Willits is leaving id Software, I guess. Any thoughts, Luke? And Luke will be like, no.
What?
And I'll be like, cool, well, moving on. Have we got any questions? Yeah. Like, I think, like, it's one of those things where you just sort of, like, fucking naturally want to fucking wrap shit up. Like, you just...
It's Apex time. I'm like, that's all I want.
Exactly, right? Like, we just spent like 40 fucking hours talking about Apex, and now we want to play Apex, and we're like, fuck, we've got to talk about the fucking news?
Who's asking us questions again?
Yeah, how dare they ask us questions? Anyway, I think that's what's happening with the Here's My Movie podcast. They get to the point where they're actually going to talk about their version of the movie, but they've already talked for like an hour and a half, or Nate's talked for an hour and a half, and Katie's interjected maybe twice. because Nate never shuts the fuck up. And yeah, it's one of those things where they just never really go. I reckon they should put the. It's tricky, right? How would you do that? How would you put the version of the movie first without breaking down everything that's wrong with it? Yeah, I don't know how you solve it, but I want to hear more of their versions of the movies, basically. Anyway, that's Nate's other podcast, or Nate's podcast rather. This is not one of his podcasts. He's just a guest.
Not yet.
Just a really low talking, chillaxed guest. Bring that 13th hour, the witching hour vibe. Yeah. Anyway, I got to stop talking like that because I can see Luke on the webcam and he's falling asleep. So I'm going to keep my energy up, fucking up, to make sure he doesn't pass out.
Yep.
He's really bringing the heat right now.
No, I'm sort of Googling at the moment to try and find out the name of the dude that.
It's Tim.
No, he used to do like the radio like love hour or whatever it was, in Sydney.
Dr. Love, wasn't it? Well, I don't know about Sydney, but
it was like his name was like Richard something.
Richard
Mercher or something like that, and he was really like low tone, like hey ladies, how are you going?
Yeah, because he only come on at like 11 o'clock because they talk about all kinds of sexual shit. It was never anywhere near as sexual as 13-year-old Joe was hoping. And I was hoping for like hardcore, high quality smuts, but it was never any decent smut. It was like when I put my penis in my girlfriend, it bent the wrong way. What should I do, Dr. Love? And Dr. Love will be like, go to a fucking hospital, dickwad. I'm sorry. Go to a hospital, maybe get that checked out. You're like, yeah, fucking, I could have guessed that one. I'm 13-year-old Joe, but I haven't put my dick in anything. But I could have guessed.
Vacuum cleaner.
Except every vacuum cleaner in the suburb. But yeah, even I know is if you bend it the wrong way and it's hurting, probably go to a doctor. Anyway.
Also, don't put anything in a vacuum cleaner.
What about
don't
dust?
Put any body parts in a vacuum cleaner. I mean,
yeah.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. Do you know what the main reason I never put my dick in a vacuum cleaner, apart from the main reason was I always thought there were little blades inside the vacuum, right?
That's
obviously I would. Well, we didn't have traditional carpet in my house. We had this, that fake grass stuff you see. We had that, but it was real grass. And it was a tent. We lived in a tent. No, anyway, yeah. I thought, obviously, but they never made any, I clearly never thought it through, right? Because the blades would only be in the head of the fucking vacuum cleaner. They wouldn't be in the pipe part. You wouldn't put them in the pipe part, because the pipe's supposed to be pretty, fucking, easy to disassemble. It's not supposed to be a critical element of your vacuum cleaner construction. Just the head portion that's proprietary, right? I've got a Dyson vacuum cleaner here that I do not have sex with, and the head portion of that thing is complex as fuck, and the pipe thing is just a pipe. But it has this weird interlocking part. So if I want to replace it, I either have to get up on Alibaba and get some Chinese knockoff shit, or I have to spend $400 to replace a fucking bit of plastic pipe. Which is infuriating, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying carrying this conversation by talking about the times that I don't sex with a vacuum cleaner.
I don't think there's much I could add to that conversation, to be honest. I've never tried any of this and never thought there was blades in my vacuum cleaner, so...
So what stopped you from fucking a vacuum cleaner then?
It just doesn't sound like a good time.
How would it not? Just to be clear, I've not had sex with.
Have you not seen those ads on TV where the dude's got the fucking bowling ball and he's lifting shit up with it? No, thank you. I'm fine.
There. That sounds good. Anyway.
Yeah. So I was I've been on a plane. I left. Well, we went out. We were drinking on Friday night. Was it Saturday night?
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday last week. I I completely forgot about that. Yeah, we had some drinks at my place.
Yeah,
I think we did play a little bit of something, Jackbox Party
Jackbox.
Pack,
Yep.
but mainly the game of putting on YouTube and just letting it sort of pick whatever fucking video is next. And we went down this deep hole of lip sync battles.
Lip sync battles. Yeah, I'd never really seen it all that much, but some of that shit was fucking quite impressive.
Yeah.
Who was there was one, Kathy Bates. Blew my mind. It was spectacular. That was really good.
Not Tom Holland?
Nah, everyone's seen that one. Whatever.
Yeah, he's good, but fuck that guy. He's Spider-Man. He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's... Yeah. And isn't he Billy Elliot as well? Like,
Yeah, he was.
he's literally in a movie about, dancing a bunch.
Yeah.
And nobody expecting him to be able to dance. Like, the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So, yeah, Monday I flew out to LA.
Yep.
And I can't talk about anything that I saw for another couple of weeks.
Cool.
So that's good. I was in basically Santa Monica, did a bit of walking around and whatnot, had some good food. Because I haven't really been to that area of town. I've always been to sort of downtown LA.
Yeah, or Hollywood, right?
Or Hollywood, yeah. They're like two places. And Santa Monica wasn't really anywhere that I'd been to.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, I was surprised that there was an actual beach that people swam at, because I just figured there was a beach.
What is it? Hot as fuck while you were there?
Yeah, so it's summer over there at the moment, and it was about 23 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit.
What?
It was about 23.
That's good.
Yeah, it felt a bit hotter. Like, I got sunburnt.
How?
Which is good. I don't know. For somebody that's like about to jump on a plane, being like, yeah, let's get sunburnt. That sounds like a fun time.
That does sound good, yeah.
Yeah, and so we walked up and down sort of like the beach strip a little bit. You see the start of like one of the developers we were with was like, this is the start of like Grand Theft Auto, where they're walking along the beach and he's at the therapist's house and all that sort of thing, like pointing it out. Yeah, and then we later on, a couple of days later, went down to the actual pier and walked up and down there. They've got like rides and
Yep.
all these stands and whatnot with people trying to sell stuff. And yeah, it's actually pretty nice down there. I was surprised that the beach was actually a beach, because generally when like, someone in America is like, oh, we've got beaches, and you see the beach, like, that's not a beach.
Yep.
What are you talking about? It's just water. There's
Yeah.
not even waves. But there was actual waves at this beach.
But yeah, being, Australian, we're mad beach snobs.
Yeah. At beach dickheads.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we, apart from that, stayed a night at a nice hotel.
Cool.
Went out for drinks after we were like, we don't really have much to do anymore. So me and some other games media did some drinks and whatnot. But generally, it was a decent, like, quick trip
Yeah.
of being there for like 3 days or 2 nights.
Yeah.
3 days, and then getting out of there again. So I got back this morning, and then I fly out on Monday again for another trip,
Right.
and then I get back on Friday, and then while this is all happening, I've now been signed up for a third trip.
That I'm on.
Yeah, that you're doing as well. So yeah, I'm here not a lot the next 3 weeks, but I'm always sort of, I'm like here for 2 days, and then I fly away, then I'm here for 2 days again, then I fly away again.
Based on what I know of your trips, I think I've picked the spiciest one. It's gonna result in some shit.
Yeah.
Some stuff's gonna come out of our one. The other ones, nobody cares. Whatever, Luke. Nobody cares.
It's I think it's.
It'll be nice when you can finally fucking talk about them, but yeah.
But video game season is coming.
Yeah.
Just not this week.
No.
No, just very soon.
Real close.
People were talking about like the developers I was with.
Yeah.
Were getting excited about stuff, and yeah, talking about that sort of like August/September release cycle, with games like Borderlands coming up, and Control is really soon.
True.
And then other media had been talking to me, being like, hey, have you got this game yet? And I'm like, I didn't even realize that was coming out. Stuff like that. So yeah, it's really starting to ramp up.
Yeah.
June, July is generally pretty quiet.
Yeah. Once we hit August, we'll be pretty close to the swing of things. I mean, stuff's coming out already. Marvel Ultimate Alliance hits stores today. So there's some reviews out there. We'll be talking about it next week, 100%.
What's the sort of general vibe on that? Because I was up. It was this morning. The embargo dropped, and it looks like there's not a lot of outlets with it, like actual code.
Apparently, it's pretty meh.
Yeah, it seems pretty like
performance issues, some performance issues, but largely just like apparently the story is a bit of a rehash of the last of Phase 3 of Marvel Cinematic Universe type shit. So it's a bit of an also ran type, seen it before type stuff. But apparently the character selection, like apparently it's fucking awesome, and the combat's quite good. Koei, when I first saw it as Koei, I was like, I'm not about that. But my brother's a mad turd for those. He calls them Muso games. You know, Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
You know how every single one of them is identical. Well, Koei releases a lot of different those kinds of games. They'll just release fucking Warriors games for days. And he reckons every licensed game they've ever done has been fucking tops. But he also likes Muso games. I'm 99% sure Marvel Ultimate Alliance is not one of those fucking Warriors games. But I guess I'll find out whenever my Switch decides to charge. I had it. I would have been playing it in the time it took you to work out when 1 o'clock was. But my Switch, I put it in the dock and it didn't charge.
Right.
So I have to stick it on hard, plug a fucking cable into the fucking thing to charge it, to make sure it gets back to charge to full, so I can actually play the fucking thing. So that's cool. So there's that. There's Fire Emblem as well is pretty close. Apparently that's fucking awesome. I've never been huge on those games, but I'm willing to give this one a shot just to have something to play on my Switch. I believe it will be out just in time for me to take it to the trip that we're doing. That'll be perfect timing for that. So it does seem like we're kicking in to games, but we're not in the full swing yet. Yeah.
It's still Borderlands to me that I'm super excited about.
Yep.
Like a lot of people on this trip, that was like the thing they were talking about, like the developers getting super pumped for. So yeah, I'm still hyped.
Yep.
So on the actual plane, I've sort of been playing mobile games.
Of course.
Yeah. Dr. Mario World, you talked about it last week.
Yep.
I had downloaded it but just completely forgot, I think. Or I downloaded it during the podcast, something like that. I think you said that it was a shameless cash grab. Is that what you called it?
That is what I'd heard, yes.
You'd heard, okay.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got that vibe from it yet.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Have you played it at all?
No, because I heard it was a shameless cash grab. So
right, so it uses the same sort of free-to-play system that a lot of free-to-play games use, with like an energy system. You start off with about 5 hearts, and each time you enter a level, it takes a heart away. But if you are able to finish the level, then you get the heart back. It's only when you fail to do that level is when that heart disappears, and you've got a countdown to try and regain that heart every whatever it is, 30 minutes or 20 minutes. I'm not entirely sure, but that's how that system works.
Right.
And if you've played Dr. Mario before, it feels to me like it plays a lot differently than what I remember Dr. Mario being. And the last one that I played would have been on maybe the Super Nintendo or the 64, one of those two.
I never played any 64 version. I only played it on the SNES.
Yeah, there was a version that I played that was Dr. Mario, but I think it also had... No, it was... Yeah, okay, I'm remembering now. It was just Dr. Mario. I remember the cartridge. It was the SNES version. So yeah, that's like the only one that I've played. And this, to me, does not feel like that game. Like it's the same sort of concept of like a match 3 getting rid of viruses and whatnot.
Yeah.
But this is definitely more like puzzly.
Right.
So every sort of match or round that you do as you go across this track in the game is like presented to you as like, here's a bunch of viruses, they're different colors, and you get these pill capsules, and each capsule is split up into 2 halves, and they're different colors, and you've got to try and match 3 or 3 or more, and then every time you do that, it sort of disappears that line, and you've got to try and clear the entire area, and you've only got a certain amount of turns to try and do that in. And from what I would probably gather is that every round is possibly the same, or they've got a selection of like a pool of capsules they give you that are always going to be the same every time you start it. Like, here's what we're going to give you, and you've got to try and figure out how to beat this, as opposed to it being like a random thing. Fucking like, here's 2 blues, or here's a red and a blue, or something like that, and you not be able to do anything with it. I feel like that's probably
so it's a constructed.
Yeah, I think it's all like, we're gonna give this to you. You're gonna try and figure out like where to put it, and every time it's gonna be the same. That's how I feel like it's gonna be, because they're at least where I'm playing at the moment, because it feels like that it's giving me the right combinations. Like, I'm supposed to sort of chain it in a certain way. Like, if I spin this capsule this way and make a 3, then I can use the one that didn't disintegrate and kind of slot that somewhere else. Because what happens is, if you sort of like turn the capsule to a horizontal angle and you match so that only one of the halves is sort of locked into place, and you can start moving the second half still, and then like slot that in somewhere else. And it's pretty lenient in terms of where you can put these capsules. Like, you're sort of just dragging and dropping on the screen where it goes. And it's not like Tetris, where you kind of just press down and it just slots into place. Or, depending on what type of Tetris you're playing, you can press down, it sort of moves down really quickly. This one, you can really freely just stop and like be like, all right, I'm going to look around for the moment. It's not like a time, at least the games that I'm playing at the moment, it's not like a time attack type style, where you've got to be really thinking about it. You can sort of just hold your finger there and be like, all right, well, where am I going to put this now? Okay, cool, I'll just slot this into here, and sort of like draw in a line where you want it to go, and I'll just quickly slot into that area.
So it's a lot less reactive. Yeah,
it's more like you're trying to figure out the puzzle. There are definitely time attack type levels in the game that seem to be part of like a branching off area, that are like a special area that you can kind of go into. But the main path seems to be more like, figure out how to put all these puzzle pieces into place, and then you can finish it. So in terms of that, like, it doesn't, for whatever reason, that's not how I remember Dr. Mario being.
No.
That sort of style.
Yeah.
But I'm not understanding the shameless cash grab sort of statement, because it does sort of adhere to those tropes of, there are power-ups and things that you can buy in the game to like help you along in certain like puzzles, but the bits that I've played, it hasn't been super like, hey, you need this to do it so far at the moment.
People were talking about the energy system specifically, in that if you fail a level, you reach a point where you're fucked, and you basically have to pay or wait an hour before you're able to play again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but to me, that's the way that a lot of these free-to-play games work anyway. Like, if you don't...
Yeah, but I think the reason it was called a shameless cash grab was because it's juxtaposed against, like, the Super Mario run, right? Which asked a high for a mobile game asking price, but once you had it, you're able to play it. You know, it was yours to play.
Right.
Whereas this is sort of nickel and diming players for bits of energy, which is more traditional mobile game style. Yeah. That's like, the fact that it's done by a lot of mobile games doesn't mean it's not shameless when they do it. I think, you know, it's just, it depends on whether or not you find yourself being locked out of the game that you're trying to play much. If you're winning all the time, then I suppose you wouldn't even notice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like it's using the same sort of stuff as what Candy Crush, that sort of series uses, where it's got different sort of abilities that you can go in and purchase to make the game a little bit easy for you. And like that type of game, I am like 250 levels in. There's definitely like moments where I will get stuck on a level and spend like 10 to 15 lives trying to get through a level over the course of a couple of days, but eventually I'll get over that hump, and like, I've never spent any money in that. But I can't say the same thing for this game, that it's not going to change after a certain hurdle. But I've probably played about 30 levels and I haven't felt like I've had to spend any money in. But that's like the thing, right? Is that they try and get you hooked into these games. Like the psychology behind it is that they try and get you invested into it. So yeah, maybe there is a point, but I'm not feeling like I'm needing to spend money at this stage. In saying that, I just don't like the game. I don't think it's very good.
Right.
I don't enjoy the puzzles. I think they're super fucking boring. It's
yeah, okay, fair enough.
That was kind of the thing that was a bit strange to me, is what I didn't get the same feeling of playing like Dr. Mario back in the day that I'm getting from this. It just doesn't, like, it's not engaging at all for me at the moment. Maybe because it's not that challenging at this stage, or I don't know what it is. I'm just not enjoying it so much.
Yeah,
it's just like I'm having fun with other mobile games as opposed to this one that I've played. I'm just like, this is pretty basic stuff. Like, it's not really doing anything I haven't seen before. It just feels like a match 3 game, but there's just not a lot on the screen. It's just like fucking a quarter of a match 3 game, and I've got to try and just navigate parts of it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just not grabbing me that much.
Yeah, fair enough.
So far, like, I'll keep playing it.
Yeah.
Just to see if it changes up and whatnot, but at this time it's not doing much for me. It takes fucking ages to load. It does weird things with content delivery, like you download the game and then at a certain point when it opens up to like the actual game, it downloads another like 200 megabytes in the background, so you're not actually downloading the whole game. That's the point where it's like, okay, we're actually going to make you pay for these lives now, as opposed to being like infinite type system. But yeah, it's just not doing much for me at this stage. So see if that changes, but yeah, seems pretty basic at this stage. And what else have we got? I played a tiny bit of Kingdom Rush Vengeance.
Yeah.
This is a game we've talked about a lot, or it's a series that is like a tower defense game.
Yep.
Where you basically build buildings and try and stop monsters from getting through a certain path. Really liked some of the older games. Recently they started adding in things like hero systems, where you could sort of walk these heroes around that had special abilities and sort of set them on the path to try and stop the enemies from progressing further and whatnot.
Yep.
This game is feeling pretty similar to the last one that I played.
Yeah.
Have you played this one?
Yeah, I played Vengeance. Yeah, it does tread a lot of the same ground. I didn't feel like it was all that different.
Yeah.
I actually slipped off it pretty quick as a result. Like, it just felt like the early levels just felt like I was doing early levels of previous Kingdom Rush games, and I'm like, well, didn't I already do them? Like, yeah, it didn't feel very different at all. It just felt like more levels.
The only thing that I feel like might be a little bit new is there's a skill tree system
right.
for the actual overall game, but there's also one for heroes as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were in the last game.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't immediately recall. It seemed super familiar to me, but it didn't, like, I don't, it seems like it's not going to impact your playstyle for ages either. Like, that's the problem. My problem with it is that early on it feels too similar, but also too generally basic, so that like I feel like I'm just playing a neutered version of previous
Sure.
Kingdom Rushes. I need to get to the point where I can just sort of do my own thing in the game, and yeah, I'm just not like, I don't know. I never felt that compelled to stick with it until that point, until the point where I was actually able to do my own thing.
Like, yeah, why couldn't you just give me new levels on the old game or
Right.
something like that?
Or yeah, or at the very least, give me the. I don't think it had an option to be like, I know how to fucking play Kingdom Rush. This is the 7th fucking Kingdom Rush.
Oh yeah.
Just let me fucking skip ahead to the point where you let me fucking play Kingdom Rush. I don't need 7 fucking levels before I'm able to build a fucking level 3 tower. Like, just let's go. Come on.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I felt about it. I'll still keep. It'll be on my phone somewhere, and I'll just keep playing it. But it hasn't shown me anything that I haven't seen before in one of those games, or at least that I haven't felt like I haven't seen before.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like maybe that skill tree stuff wasn't in the last game, but that's not significant enough of a change for me to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's pretty samey for me.
Yep.
Um,
Empires and Puzzles. I want to talk about this. It's your fault that I play this game.
right. Okay.
And I got my first 5-star hero,
Yeah.
which apparently is a lot rarer than I thought it was.
Yeah. How did you get this? Out of a pack?
Out of a pack, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It was one of the, what are they called? The event packs. It was
Like summon tokens or something like that.
Yeah, well, no, I used gems because you get
gems.
a handful of gems every now and then. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to spend them on, but I spend them on fucking heroes.
Heroes, yeah. That's what I
do. I can't imagine you'd spend them on fucking speeding up build times or anything like that. No, that'd be fucking dumb. Yeah, so I just spent them on heroes. Well, yeah, true. So yeah, I got this dude called Mr. Wolf, and it really reminds me of the first fucking legendary card I got in Hearthstone was fucking Hammett, which is one of the worst fucking legendaries in Hearthstone, or at least at the time was. Like, it was. I don't think he was the worst. I don't think he was like the absolute worst. He was in like the bottom 3 of legendaries you could get. That's what Boss Wolf basically is. That's my new fucking legendary. He is shit. I don't know what the fuck he is bringing to the table. I've had to spend so much time trying to get him to a point where he's even fucking usable. But yeah, his power, like, I looked it up. I had to look it up, right? So I had to look up and find out if I was doing something wrong to find out, like, what the fuck is going on. And no, general consensus is he's awful. Apparently he used to be really good, but you could combine him with some other hero and turn him into this, like, they were basically unstoppable. You can combine him with someone called Guinevere, I think. And they would, like, steal mana, and then he would hit him with like mana slow, like you build mana slowly. So if you put him in a defensive thing, people just couldn't beat the two of them. Because then Guinevere would also get, like, generate mana faster, and hit him with the mana steal again, and then he would. And basically, they were never able to pull off a special against a combo of Boss Wolf and Guinevere. Is my basic understanding of how the fuck that shit was going on. And so they nerfed Boss Wolf into the fucking dirt, basically.
He still reads pretty good. Like, I'm reading it, and he'd definitely be on my front line.
Why?
Why?
Tell me why.
He would go, like, in the middle. He'd be like my tank. You stick him in the middle, and then throw a fucking healer next to him.
Yep.
And he'd cause us a lot of problems.
Because of his special, or because he's got high health in general? Because high health doesn't fucking matter at level 1.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just getting pantsed at level 1.
Yeah, once you get him to a decent spot with the rest of your team, yeah, he'll be awesome.
But the thing is, his special ability is fucking pointless because it's very slow rating.
Yeah. But that's why it builds quicker when he gets attacked.
Yeah, I can't control when he's getting attacked if he's on my.
That's why you put him right in the middle.
But I can't control when he's getting attacked in like when I'm attacking people.
Right? Yeah, yeah. He's a raid. He's a raid boss. This guy, Boss Wolf, is used for raids primarily. It looks like
how are raids different from anything else? Is that
raids are ones that like when you're getting attacked.
Right. So yeah, for defense. Right. Okay. Like, cool. So my level 5 is to what? Stop me from losing trophies. But it doesn't fucking matter because I'm still only at fucking 2,000 fucking power level. And as we've discussed before, my trophy level is significantly higher than what I should be, apparently, as far as I can fucking tell. Right? So I'm at 600 trophies now, and the average person at 600 trophies appears to have a fucking power level of 2,400, which I cannot beat. And they can beat my pitiful 2,000 however the fuck they want. It's easy peasy. So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's cooked, right? So I got a defensive guy, but it doesn't fucking matter. Great.
I'll take him from you if you want.
You can have him. Like, legit, have, like, I want the fucking resources I spent pouring into the dude, but fuck, man.
Yeah. No, I don't have what is he, a 5-star?
5-star, yeah.
No, I've got three or four 4-stars.
Right.
And 2 of them I've ascended that I'm like leveling up at the moment.
Right. I've got 1 4-star. This red chick who is pretty good. She's pretty good. And I've ascended her twice now.
Right.
Because that's all I had for the longest time. She was basically my entire strategy was keep her alive. And yeah, just fucking make sure she can get a special off. Because a special slams does like major damage to the person in the middle, plus extra damage to the people on the sides, all that kind of shit. Right. Yeah, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, I'm kind of cooked. Still in a terrible fucking team as well, a terrible alliance. But
did you get gems today?
Gems?
Yeah.
Oh no, nobody in my alliance bought gems. I saw the thing where anyone in your alliance buys this, everyone else in your alliance gets it, or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I didn't get any gems. Nobody in my alliance bought any gems.
I fired my app up, and it's like somebody has sent you gems, and I'm like, okay, cool. I pressed OK, and then it came up like fucking 10 more times, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I had to go read into it on the actual. When you click on it, it pops up and tells you.
Right.
That's what's going on. I'm like, people actually spend money in this game. So, yes, they do.
Apparently everyone in your alliance does. Nobody in mine does.
So it's like this thing where you buy gems, you get 300 gems, and then everyone in your alliance also gets 30.
Yep.
I was like, yep, cool, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I was at like, I think I was at about 67, and now I'm up to 275 or 74.
Nice.
So that was fun. Fun little
sweet
free thing. I'm not spending any money in it.
No. But, yeah. I have been tempted to get the fucking VIP pass so I can build 2 buildings at once. That's about the closest stuff.
Do it.
That's the closest I've come to paying money.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I'm like,
you're buying gems.
I just want to build this fucking, because everything takes like 24 hours to build now. So I'm like,
oh yeah,
cool. Right.
All the important stuff takes me about. I'm building to stronghold level 17 or something like that.
Right.
And that's like 4 days.
Jesus Christ.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I've been holding off for a while. Anyway, I think that's all I've been doing on mobile.
Cool.
You got anything else on mobile?
No.
These other games?
No. Underlords, I guess, but
we played a tiny bit of Mordhau last week.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, that was medium fun.
Yeah, I still not a huge fan of that game. It just seems. Is it in early access still? it just doesn't seem like they've done much to the game. Like they've changed the UI slightly, but it still just seems terrible. The whole interface in that game just doesn't. No, it's not even in early access.
It's full released.
It's out. Yeah.
I mean, they added a new map. The new map is pretty cool. Kind of dumb because it's just a horse fest. Horse, like, yeah, I think it'd get tired really quick. Horses are basically the fucking plains of Mordhau. I've said this before. Sorry, fucking hell. Yeah, horses are basically the plains of Mordhau in that the concept of plains in Battlefield is that, you know, they're supposed to be the fucking triangle, the paper, scissors, rock, but there's nothing to counter a fucking horse. Yeah, except in, like, specific emplacements. And yeah, so it's just sort of lame seeing people ride around on spears, and having 10 of them on each side means it's just a big fucking horse fest. So
yeah,
you know,
and because it is a tug of war type mode.
Yeah.
It's not like in Battlefield where you can be like, all right, well, I'm just not going to go to that area. I'm going to go behind and make the tanks move. Like, go capture a different point. Whereas this is just literally, that's the only thing you can do is just hold this point or try and capture this point. So
once you get to the center point, like it is, I found it a fun little battle on that treehouse type thing. But yeah, getting across the killing field that is the run up to the treehouse area is kind of lame. Yeah.
I've still had horses chase me up those stairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, it's not like they can't go up there.
Yeah,
there's a little balancing beam, I think, around that treehouse, but otherwise the bits around it they can skirt around.
They should add more damage for horses, like falling damage on horses, because horses don't enjoy falling off shit. They're not really well equipped for that as an action. But yeah, I had fun, like, when we were crewing up and slamming through what's that foresty map, whatever the foresty map is. I had fun in that one. But yeah, it's like the lack of auto balancing and the nature, the snowball nature of the game means that too often you just sort of get too many fights where you're just getting overwhelmed instead of actually having fun.
Well, it just felt like that. What we're getting smashed by, like the war axe or something, it was just seemed like everyone had found the build to use, so this is the build that they were using.
Yeah.
Like people being, 45 and 6 or something like that.
Well, we gotta we should have ditched the regular mode and gone and played some duels, because but Nate hates duels for some reason. It's not high enough action for him. But I like the fucking duel scenarios in, like, you just sort of fucking take people on one at a time, gank the fuck out of anyone who disrespects the duel, and yeah, like you can the mind games that are a big part of Mordhau, a big part of what I like about Mordhau, really take effect in duels, and then there's barely enough time for them to really matter in the battleground mode.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, I like it, but I don't love it. Yeah.
I remember reading a while back when it first came out about people had figured out how to get onto the spawn area. Like some sort of glitch.
Right.
And then when we fired it up, there was a dude on my screen.
Oh yeah, playing the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So they haven't changed that at all.
I don't think they need to. Screw it.
Yeah. All right. Apex and Underlords is on the list. I don't know if I've got much to say about them.
Underlords, for me, basically they desperately need to add a bunch of new heroes ASAP. I know they're changing things up this week with a huge patch.
Yeah, massive patch.
Massive. They are making a lot of big changes, but I feel like all that's going to happen is people are going to quickly work out what the most efficient build is, and they'll build straight towards it every single time. That's all that's happening at the moment. There is enough character diversity to force people to really make inefficient decisions. Even in games where I make, like, I specifically build towards something bad, I am reasonably certain I can always build towards knights, like troll knights, later on. Once people have been knocked out, I'll be fine. Right? I had a couple of games where I was deliberately building towards that bloodbound thing, where you get the bloodbound item. You get way too many Ochre Magi's and Warlocks, and you chuck the bloodbound item on something beefy, something that hits hard. In my case, it was a 1-star Tide Hunter, and I had the rest of my team was an array of Ogre Magi's and Warlocks, two 2-stars of each, and then 2 1-stars, I think it was, of each. Maybe one star Warlock, and then my Tide Hunter, and they were all at the front, and Tide Hunter was just behind the line, and they would just get minced, and depending on who lived the longest, somebody would end up being this like fucking 6 square large unit. And the Tide Hunter obviously had the bloodbound item, obviously. But every time a bloodbound unit dies, the other ones get 100% buff.
Yep.
To the point where, my Tide Hunter was running around, and people, like, characters would go from full health to dead on the fucking tentacle, right? He didn't even have to fucking whack them. On landing, they'd be dead. It was doing way too much damage. It was fucking spectacular. Obviously, that wasn't working post about, I think it was like round 30. I was just getting slammed. I couldn't find the 2 more Tide Hunters I needed to take him to 2 stars. So I held on to Tide, sold everyone else, pivoted directly into Knights, Troll Knights, and managed to finish that game with a win from just a really late pivot to Troll Knights. Like, I don't think you should be able to get away with that, really.
Sure.
I kept one of my Warlocks, obviously. But that's that. What else? Like, what else would you do though? Right? Like, that is essentially, unless you plan on losing, right? You plan on sticking with it all the way to the very end. If the game's going to give me the Warlock, Shadow Shaman and what's he fucking called? The troll one.
Ogre.
No, the troll Warlock.
The troll. Witch Doctor?
Witch Doctor, yeah. If it's going to give me those, like, on a platter, I got, like, when I decided to pivot, I literally had like 2 2-star Shadow Shamans in the next fucking, like, before the next round had started. Like, I was already most of the way to a 3-star Shadow Shaman. Like, yeah, why the fuck wouldn't I, right? There's just not enough hero diversity to make you not want to fucking go for that shit. So, yeah, they need to do something about it. I'm still having fun, but it's definitely been relegated all the way to my phone now, because, yeah, it is literally just about efficiency at this point. And yeah, they need to alter that. As it stands with the patch coming in.
Yeah, it's tomorrow, sounds like.
Yeah, Slark. Just Slark and Mask of Madness and whatever it is you need to make Slark work. Probably just fucking Troll Knights, really. I don't feel like they've been nerfed enough. You know? So you may as well just do Troll Knights, I think. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're basically probably reworking, or not reworking, but just doing a patch on probably 60% of the heroes.
Yeah.
Something like that. Some big changes, some small ones, things like some characters being moved out of tier 1 to tier 3. Big things like that. Some being moved out of tier 5 down to tier 4, or vice versa.
Tide Hunter being moved from Hunter to Warrior.
Yeah, and Morana was swapped, right?
Oh, really?
To
I didn't see that.
I think she was moved up as
No,
well.
Medusa was
Oh,
changed
Medusa.
to tier 5. Mirana stays the same.
Still terrible.
Still awful. Yeah. Actually
Yeah.
worse. Max mana changed to 70. Oh, no, that's better. Yeah. Never mind. Um, yeah. A lot of fucking nerfs for a lot of the popular ones. But Slark, maximum health change at tier 3, he'll have 2400 health now, basically, which is what is that? A fucking 20% increase, which is massive. And basically, a tier 3 Slark will be impossible to kill and will do more damage than you can possibly imagine. Tier 2, doesn't matter, same as always. But yeah, if you can get a tier 3 Slark, you are fucking golden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of good changes though. Like, well, there's a lot of changes. I was pretty surprised about how much was getting in there. But
A lot of
yeah,
like a lot of incentive to get characters to tier 3 now instead of just leaving them at tier 2. Um, like who was the one I saw? Techies, right? Techies was
oh
you were
yeah,
seeing
these
a lot of
techies.
fucking tech. Oh, you were seeing so much of it, man.
Yeah,
So much of it. He only has his maximum radius now at tier 4.
hmm
Sorry, tier 3. And below that, it's smaller, so it's not as good. Which means, yeah, you're way better off getting him all the way to tier 3. Obviously, he's still extremely expensive, so it's never going to happen.
yeah.
It's one of those things you got to sort of think about. Yeah.
The one I was surprised about the change here was you won't see heroes from the previous shop when you re-roll the shop.
Yeah, it's good. So it sort of acts like if you think of Underlords like it's a deck building game. Now, when you pull 5 cards and put them out on the table, right? You don't shuffle them back into the deck because that's what was happening. So you'd shuffle them straight back into the deck. Now they go into a discard, right? And that continues until all of them are discarded, and then you shuffle the deck, right? Which is a
Is
sign.
that how it works, or is it just that round?
Oh,
So like if you put
yeah,
them aside, draw 5 more cards, but then put those other 5 back in that pile again.
yeah, okay, yeah. That's probably definitely how it works.
Yeah,
But that makes a lot more sense because otherwise you'd wind up being guaranteed some characters, right?
yeah, yeah. The one that is kind of disappointing is not on here yet is the whole playing against another
The
person.
1v1. It was supposed to come in this week, but I guess it hasn't.
Still working on it. But other than that, like tons of changes. I was pretty surprised about how many there were in this list. I'm looking forward to seeing how things change up.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing how it goes, but yeah, they really need to add some fucking heroes.
Yeah, it sounds like what I was reading the other day. Someone data mined. We might even talk about last week.
Yeah, we. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's like good 15 to 20 heroes that are in there somewhere
Yeah,
that they're working on.
yeah, yeah.
How
Just
quickly they roll them out is
even one would be huge. But yeah. Anyway,
yeah. Looking forward to that tomorrow.
yes.
Sounds like
Yeah.
maybe I got to put it on mobile so I can play that while I'm away.
Do you not have it on your mobile? Fuck.
Nah,
Man. Oh, you got to get it. Yeah.
I play it on PC.
Get on
at the
that shit.
moment. Yeah.
All right.
Apex is on here.
Yeah. Ranked mode is balked. I wrote about this on Red Bull. You can
Okay.
read about my full, like, detailed analysis of it on Red Bull, obviously. But yeah, basically the way ranked mode works is specifically incentivizing a style of play that is an Apex.
Hmm.
In my opinion, we've noticed it a lot. This idea that once you get into the final, the top 10, the game becomes
Rank
extremely conservative. Yeah, you're heavily incentivized to rank tag, and yeah, once you're in the top 5, I mean, yeah, basically the last couple of circles have tons of teams left because nobody wants to take a fight because nobody wants to get third partied, or nobody can risk losing a single character, a single player from their squad, because it makes it significantly harder to win. So yeah, there's a lot of camping. What they need to do is heavily incentivize kills. My pitch for how they would fix it is to get rid of the kill cap, which is dumb and shouldn't exist as it is, and introduce a scaling point system for kills following each, I guess, landmark in a game. So once you reach the top 10, kills are worth 2 points. Once you reach the top 5, kills worth 3 points. Once you reach the top 3, kills worth 4 points, and that would be it. It would finish there. And so by doing that,
and then don't have a placement system.
No, you'd still have to have placement points as well, and you'd probably have to increase the amount that placement is worth. Sure. And obviously that would mean rejigging what it takes to acquire a certain rank or whatever. But nevertheless, if kills were worth, you'd still be like heavily incentivized to make the top 10, right? You'd still want to be playing for placement. You wouldn't want to be hot dropping because kills were only worth 1 point, and they'd be significantly more valuable once you reached the top 10. Obviously, I haven't like fully done the maths on this thing. I didn't crack out any of my spreadsheets or anything. I did have a spreadsheet for the PUBG PGI to work out the most efficient point system for that. I didn't crack out a spreadsheet for this, but this is all napkin maths. But yeah, basically, what you want to do is make it so that people are heavily incentivized to at least make the top 10, so that kills before the top 10 are reactive, so situational and mostly about survival, right? And then post top 10, you start to chase kills because it's more efficient to chase kills than to not, right? So you start taking engagements so that by the last circle, you don't have fucking 6 teams left. Instead, if you see another team, you jump them, and the skill in ranked becomes about being capable of finishing those teams off as fast as possible. So getting kills real fast, so that you can't get third-partied, or so that you're at least ready for the third party when it finally arrives. Because then, yeah, like you're heavily incentivized to take fights before the final circle, because by the time the final circle is there, if there are 6 teams left, it's sort of just rolling the dice, because anyone could get any kills, and you can't necessarily control that because you can't control where everyone is. Assuming obviously that everyone in the final circle is of the same level of skill, right? Like whenever I make these assumptions, it's always based on the idea that if you had 18 clones playing together and they're all exactly the same level of skill, and they all wound up in the final circle based on the circumstances provided to them, right? Then yeah, when they were finally put up against one another, the results would end in essentially RNG, right? Which you don't want to do. You're trying to manage the RNG. You're trying to manage that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I got to do something. They desperately have to incentivize players to actually chase kills, basically.
Yeah.
And Ranked doesn't do that at the moment. Yeah. That's all.
No. Have you played much Ranked?
I got myself out of bronze.
Oh, nice.
Ground my way out of bronze. No, it was annoying as fuck. I was constantly being dumped in games with levers and stuff like that. And the point about levers is that you don't lose placement points, but at bronze it doesn't fucking matter. So, yeah. Levers, hot droppers, like I had a number of fucking games where we hot dropped on Skulltown or hot dropped on fucking airport directly under the fucking start of the ship, and I'm like, why? Right?
Well, because you're in bronze.
Yeah, because we're in bronze, and everyone here is a fucking moron. Or what was the other one? I had a couple of games where I had two games rather, where everyone, like I was the jump master, and both the other players split off and went to different places.
Hmm.
Like, are they stuck trying to do fucking week one challenges or something? Is that what's going on? Or like, Jesus Christ, yeah, infuriating, right? Like, yeah, it was aggravating as fuck because, yeah. I don't know. They're just fucking dipshits at that. Like, yeah, it was bad. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm in silver. Yay.
You're in silver. Now you get lose points.
Yeah.
You get even angry.
Yep. Perfect. That's the other thing, right? Like, I think I talked about it last week, but like, this isn't a fucking ranking system. This is not ELO related or anything like that, right? Like, this is.
It's purely just...
It's a progression system. It's designed as a secondary progression system because almost everyone who plays this game to the point where they think about joining ranked has already reached Apex Legends and so can no longer feels progression, which is dumb, right? If it was a real fucking rank system, if it was really designed around finding people or skill-based matchmaking, then it would have started out with placement games and gone from there. But it sure didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Cool.
What else we got here that we can talk about? Streets of Rogue.
Let's do Streets of Rogue. Streets of Rogue is a sick-ass game that's out on PC and I believe Switch. And it's not at all related to Streets of Rage. Best description I've seen is that it's Grand Theft Auto meets Deus Ex, in that it's Grand Theft Auto, the original, the top-down style one, meets Deus Ex in that you are sort of empowered to do a lot of stuff through experimentation. And you can interact with a lot of different things in a lot of goofy ways, and it's not necessarily purely limited by your imagination, but you will often find that you'll like I've found that I'm often angry at myself for not having tried something earlier. So in that, what I'm talking about is like so you run through each level. It starts you out in the slums, and you build your way up. And you're trying to get to the mayor's village, that you can overthrow the world. Basically, the story doesn't really fucking matter. It's just an excuse. It's got a banging soundtrack, by the way. But yeah, like basically, you start off and you are your little slum dweller character. You got a couple of different ones that you can pick from. But yeah, you don't have much, and you can't do much, and you complete missions. And once you've completed 2 missions, you can use the elevator to go to the next level. But you can also continue to fuck about on that same level. Try to earn I think it's $50 you need to earn enough to unlock the next character or whatever it is. Stuff like that. And yeah. You do what you can, right? And the next level, like the missions you've got to do are stuff like acquire an item from a character. And to acquire the item, you can talk to the character, you can bribe them, you could intimidate them, you could buy from them. If you're the comedian character and you tell them a funny joke, then they'll just give it to you. Or I believe that's related to it, like a charm factor that is largely hidden. I'm not 100% sure on how that one works, but yeah, they might just give it to you. Or, of course, you could murder them and take it from them, but then you'll have to deal with the repercussions, whatever they may be. If the person is in a gang, then the other gang members might come after you. Or if the cops see you, and the cops can see you like through an open door or through a window, If they see you doing the murdering, then they'll come and try to get you. Yeah, all kinds of things. If a security camera sees you doing it, then security guards might come and try to stop you. So you've got all these things you need, all these little things that you need to take into account when you try to analyze how you're going to complete your mission. And then you complete your mission and you go on to the next one. The next one might be you got to push these 3 buttons inside of 15 seconds in this big building. And you got to work out how you're going to do it. It's a trick, right? It's a tricky one because this big building, it is huge. It's got locked doors. It's got guards, armed guards, security cameras, security systems, and you got to work out how you're going to get there. So maybe you beeline for the computer. And if you get to the computer, you can hack it. And if you hack it, you can turn off all the security systems. Or if you're good enough, you can turn the security systems against the armed guards. And so the security systems kill all the armed guards. And then you turn off security systems. And then you just have to unlock all the doors. And maybe the computer will unlock the doors for you. Maybe you have to use a lockpick. Maybe one of the guards will drop a key. Like all this kind of stuff. And you're basically seeing what you can get away with. Maybe to get to the computer, you need to kill a security guard, to get a key, to get through the door, to get to the computer, to stop all the security systems. Something like that, right? Anyway, you do all this stuff, you turn it all off, and then you go and you press a button, press the next button, finish the mission, right? But there's also like trapdoors. You might fall down a fucking trapdoor along the way if you're not paying enough attention. You're pretty focused on getting to these buttons as quickly as possible because you only got 15 seconds. It's quite big in an area. The other thing is if you're trying to kill a security guard and they happen to destroy one of the buttons, that triggers the countdown. That counts as the button being pressed. And so then you've got like 15 seconds to press the other 2 fucking buttons. So you've got to do that while being pursued by the security guard. All this kind of stuff, right? And yeah, it's just this wacky fucking like domino effect of shit going wrong for you as you attempt to basically, get out of whatever sticky situation you put yourself in. And the further you go in, the more you start to realize what you're capable of, what the game is capable of. So you might you know, if you want to hack the computer, it's super easy to do as the hacker character because he can hack stuff from afar, but it creates noise and so it alerts people. So you can't do it in an area near the computer you're hacking. You have to be as far away as possible. You also can't be seen by cops doing stuff because they'll arrest you for it and stuff like that. And all these little considerations. But the other thing you might want to do is you get these like poisons and syringes and stuff like that, and there's air vents, and you might just put some poison into the air conditioning unit, and that'll filter through the building, and the poison will kill all of the humans inside, and then you can go through and press all the buttons. Or you might put the poison into a water pistol and just fucking shoot dudes with the poison, and that still affects them with the same amount of poison. And yeah, you've got like all that kind of stuff just sort of fucking really ramps up the amount of things you can do. One of my favorite interactions, I won't talk about all of them because like part of the game is like finding fun stuff out. I've restricted it somewhat, but my favorite one absolutely is when I decided as the hacker to try to hack a fridge, and you can, and the only thing it has one command, and it is run, and it just fucking belts forward in whatever direction it's running. It belts forward until it hits 2 walls. When it hits the second wall, it explodes. And if you do that, like there are some rooms where if you're caught opening the door, not even caught opening the door, if you open the door, it automatically alerts everyone and they lose their shit and they just fucking murder the shit out of you. But if there's a fridge in that room and it runs through the door, that doesn't count. All bets are off, and you can just walk in and take whatever's in there. But the other one, like I had to murder a dude, and I managed to do it by exploding a fucking fridge on him. Like all kinds of just super dumb shit. And yeah, it's just amusing finding the different ways that shit interacts. I've got the shapeshifter character who like possesses people. I don't know why they don't shapeshift. I have no idea, but they possess people, and so you've sort of got two lives in that state. Because once the first person dies, you'll come back as the shapeshifter at whatever health state you were at previously. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, you're just jumping into fucking bodies as fast as you can, trying to get around and do whatever you can, and like complete your missions. And when you are just the shapeshifter, everyone fucking hates you. The cops will shoot you on sight, all that kind of stuff. So it's like challenging, and then you get into a body and everything's a little bit easier. What else is there? Oh yeah, every couple of levels or so, it throws like a mad spanner in the works. Like they have like riot levels where all of the people are fighting all of the cops. And so it is just like people getting the fucking shit punched out of them all over the fucking place. None of the cops have guns at this stage when it's riot time. So yeah, they're just fucking punching each other. And if they happen to punch you, they'll they'll get into the fight with you. They'll start trying to get you as well. People get punched through walls. It like changes the landscape, changes how you can access places because you no longer have to just go through a door. What else is there? I had one level. I'm not sure what was happening, but I think it was 15 seconds, a new effect took place. And I'm talking like every 15 seconds, something would happen and it would sort of just, you'd have to deal with it. And there's the dizzy trait. You just get basically a new trait. And dizzy is one of the things dizzy means you can't do anything. It's what happens when you like exit certain things, and you just sort of stand there like stuck on one spot. It's really bad for it to happen if you're in the middle of a fight because people just beat the shit out of you and you can't do anything. But what else is there? There was frozen. People would randomly just get frozen. People were randomly resurrecting. I got randomly gigantism, where I just turned into a giant. I was able to like walk over walls and stuff, and everything was crushed in my path. People were randomly shrunk, randomly poisoned, randomly regenerating. All this random shit. It was just this fucking cavalcade of fuckwittery where you couldn't fucking really tell what the fuck was going to happen next, and you had to be kind of prepared for anything. And it was pretty hard to be prepared for anything because it was the first time I'd encountered it, so I had no idea what was possible. So I didn't really know, what I had to be ready for, which was that was cool. The other major spanner I've seen is zombies, where the zombies one is basically there are zombies loose. Anyone who gets hit by a zombie, if they die, they come back as a zombie, and that includes people you kill. If they've been hit by a zombie once, they will come back as a zombie, and you got to fucking deal with it. And they like zombies just attack anyone who is in a zombie.
Right.
It's it's good fun. It is like it's just a super engaging, amusing, experiment-filled game. I think I haven't played it on the Switch yet. I've been playing it on PC. I'm really tempted to get on Switch and play it on Switch. I feel like I could fucking murder a bunch of time on a plane with this on Switch. Right. Just trying out new things and trying to see how far I get. I would lose all my progress, but I had a lot of fun unlocking the characters I unlocked, and I haven't actually spent any of my you get chicken nuggets to unlock stuff. I haven't spent any chicken nuggets on unlocking anything because I have no idea what I should be unlocking. So, So yeah, I wouldn't actually feel like I lost that much progress if I got it on Switch. I'm really tempted to do that. But yeah.
Yeah. So it's like there's actual like a story to it. It's just the maps are randomly generated.
Yeah, so each new level is randomly generated for you on the fly. It's not that complex like randomization. It's basically tile set randomization where it'll build a map out of the same basic like house units type thing.
Sure.
But yeah, you might get a map where there's no bank, for example, or might get a map where there's no ape lab, or instead of apes in the lab, it's got zombies or something like that, and you have to work out what you're going to do from there. But yeah, it is. It's not like ultra random. It's not Minecraft random. Well, actually, Minecraft random isn't even ultra.
Seeded.
Yeah, it's definitely. But yeah, you can actually get seeds. There are seeds that you can share with other people and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
And yeah, it's basically just a good time, good fun.
Nice.
It's worth the effort, worth the checking out.
All right, it's on Steam. Came out last week.
Yeah, do it.
Cool. All right, what else we got? Blackout Club.
The Blackout Club. Yeah, this one's coming out real soon. It's not out yet, but it's heading towards, I believe, at the end of the month. It's going to be full release. It's been out for a while. It is a co-op first-person horror game. And yeah, it seems like it'd be Luke's jam because once you reach level 5, I believe you can play as the killer as well, which we all know Luke is the greatest fucking killer of all time in Dead by Daylight, and I'm sure he'd be quite good at this as well. This is an interesting one. It's got a really lengthy tutorial, and it's quite detailed, quite freaky, and yeah. It's quite good. It's you play as a teen in this town where people have been experiencing these blackouts, and basically when you wake up from the blackout, everything seems like it was a dream, but they've been remembering certain things from the dreams, and then. Yeah, basically they're trying to get to the bottom of it, and the tutorial sees this chick who recorded some footage of something she wasn't supposed to, and I don't think you get to see the footage, but yeah, you have to sneak out of your house, and things seem super off right from the get-go in this house, and then as you're going around it, you trigger something in your brain, and everything starts to go wrong, and you gotta escape because there's a monster in the house, and you gotta escape it, and the only way you can tell where the monster is by closing your eyes, and so the game has like this eye closing mechanic, and you can see things in the world while your eyes are closed, but only certain, otherworldly things. So yeah, you wind up. I had to rewind the close eyes button immediately. It was bound to Z by default. I put it on my fucking mouse because that makes a lot more sense. And yeah, you basically go through these levels. There's a lot of sneaking. There's the monster, but there are also some other bad things in there. There's there's these monsters there's these littler monsters, and they can hear really well, but they can't see. So as long as you're quiet around them, they'll walk right up to you, but they'll miss you. And there's things that can see really well but can't hear, and so you got to stick to the shadows, and yeah, you got to consider the type of ground you're on, because carpet is quieter than regular ground and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, it's a bit of a freaky little combatless first person platformer type thing, it's not complex platforming, but it's pretty scary, and yeah, it's kind of cool. I haven't played it in multiplayer yet. I was kind of waiting for other people to play it with, but yeah, it's good. I enjoy it, and it's got a really cool background story, and seems really engaging. It reminds me a little bit of Payday, You got these chatters that you got to play with 3 other players, and
So it's not like Dead by Daylight where you just sort of spawn into a map and you play one round and that's it. This is like there's actual missions and stories.
there's missions, and it's actually semi-directed. I don't know if the map is the same each time. I would hope not.
Yeah.
But it seems like the general gist of what you're doing each level would be the same each time you played that level. But a different level would have a different objective type thing. Yeah, and it's really cool. Like the way things work while you're like, I don't know, it feels really freaky to hear something is nearby and then look around, see nothing, and then close your eyes, and there is definitely something close, and then you start running because you need to get away from what's coming, which is cool. Yeah.
What's Yes, you haven't played any multiplayer. Like, you don't know how it's doing that sort of stuff. Like, is it dedicated servers or is it?
No, I haven't played any yet, so I'm not sure. But I would hope that it was dedicated servers. I have no idea whether or not it's got Aussie servers. The code I got was being offered to US press, so I'm not 100% sure that it would have Aussie servers. But yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's definitely a game that's been on my radar. Like, I've seen a bunch of it.
Yeah. Well, we should definitely play some together.
Yep, when I have time to play games. At some stage.
This guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, that's everything, I think.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's do some news. What do we got here? Gears 5, which is now its official name. It's not Gears of War anymore. Gears 5.
Sure.
Removing all references to smoking in the game.
Yes. So this came out late last week. Basically, they're getting rid of all references to smoking. I never thought that there was that many references to smoking in Gears of War as it was, but and people have looked into it and there weren't that many. But this one will be entirely free of any smoking references. Apparently, according to Rob Breslau, it was because he had seen some friends of his die of lung cancer and didn't want to see it happen ever again, which seems admirable enough. I know a lot of people were freaking out about the idea, which is, well, not a lot of people. Some people were freaking out about the idea, but I don't know. It seems like a bit of a harmless one to me. Like, it seems like it's all in that game, really. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, good move. All right, Overwatch moves to fixed roles queue.
So they're finally doing something about goats, and the thing they're doing about goats is they're making it so that people have to play one of 3 roles every game. You have to play as DPS, tank, or support. Let me bring up the role queue. Allows players to choose the role they want, tank, support, or damage, before a quick play or competitive match commences, with a separate skill rating for each role. The idea being that they would then have the 2 tanks, supports, and damage heroes, so that basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to get rid of the GOAT's composition is 3 tanks, 3 supports. And it is a large part of why Overwatch is dull as fuck to watch at the moment.
That doesn't change anything in competitive, right? This is purely just...
What?
This doesn't change anything for their competitive
for
game,
esports,
does it?
For Overwatch League. It will. This will impact the Overwatch League eventually. Two role limit will also be implemented in all official Overwatch esports starting with Stage 4 of the Overwatch League. Stage 3 just ended in the Shanghai Dragons, who were previously the worst sports team of all time. They literally hold the record for the most losses in a row of any professional sports team in history. Won stage 3 of the Overwatch League, which is bananas. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
Worse than New York Knicks?
Worse than the Knicks. But yeah, I guess worse in terms of record, not worse in terms of the Knicks will never be good again. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good. I think it's a good move. I think it's an interesting one. My gut feel is that it solves a lot of problems that Blizzard has, but it's a tricky one because
it's a bandage.
I distinctly remember that they didn't even want to have people like they wanted you to be able to have fucking 6 Winstons on a team when it originally came. They were like, "Oh, we don't want to limit people to how they play this game. Like they can have as many of the same character as they want."
All May, all day. Remember that?
Yeah, and then I think all May, all day is why they had to first implement a limit on the amount of fucking heroes you could have. And now they're restricting the amount of roles you can have. If it stops them, if it stops goats, I'm all about it. But yeah, it is a bandage. It is a stopgap until they can come up with something better. But
they need to fix their fucking meta. They do some balance changes.
They have tried. All that happens is people substitute in whoever they've changed into goats, basically. They can't ramp up DPS because it has too large an impact on... This is the problem, right? Overwatch, man, I watched this fucking great video. I tweeted about it. But it's about Heroes of the Storm and the rise and fall of Heroes of the Storm, basically. And they talked about how about how Blizzard did a lot of stuff that they shouldn't have done, right? They made the game too low a skill ceiling. They balanced for the public before they balanced for esports. They did all these mistakes. These are all the same mistakes that they're making with Overwatch. Overwatch doesn't have a naturally high skill ceiling compared to other games. It doesn't have it's balanced for casual players and esports at the same time, which is a huge reason why GOATS has been impossible to fucking do anything about. If they were to, the solution to GOATS is to make DPS significantly more powerful, but the problem that would introduce is that players on casual games would suddenly be able to use basically DPS to just ham fuck their way to victories. So they can't do that. Anyway, it's a good fix for now, but obviously more things need to change. At the very least, they've been able to.
Sure.
They buffed Reinhardt as well. They weren't able to buff any tanks because all it would do is amplify the problem that GOATS has. But now they can fix some bad tanks, which is good. They can introduce other balancing elements while they attempt to fix the rest of their fucking game, which is good.
But it'd be like going back to basketball. It'd be like the basketball being like, you need to have a center on your team.
All right.
Or you can't have more than 2 point guards.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna fix anything in the long run. They've got to fix the way that the basketball has done it is by changing rules within the game to try and deter people from doing certain things, having centers not being able to stand in the fucking middle the entire time and just throw a ball to them so they can just dunk it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. They've evolved the game so that they can, stop these things from happening. Whereas this is not a fix to fix any of that. It's just purely they're limiting people from picking or from doing certain things. It just doesn't seem like a good way to go about it. The main issue is not people just stacking on certain heroes. It's that those heroes, those compositions are too powerful. So you need to change that.
Yeah, but
make it.
they
Make
can't.
things more
That's what I'm saying,
balanced.
right? Like they can't change it if they're going to insist on balancing for both casual play and esports play.
Yeah, and
Then they
that's their
can't
problem.
change it.
They fucked it
Yeah,
by doing it that way.
absolutely. But I said that it was going to be a problem fucking 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever the fuck Overwatch came out. I called it. I called it way back when, baby, because I'm the fucking best at what I do. Tim Willits is leaving id Software. Tim Willits obviously been with id since the fucking like get-go, like fucking
much.
yonks. Yeah. Geez. This is some shit. Like he has made a lot of
really good games.
yeah. He's been a key element in a lot of games that that were big in my life.
Well, he's been like the face of id, pretty much, like from the start, but also like once John Carmack sort of disappeared,
and
he's
John
been the
Romero.
face of that. Yeah, for the last 10 years or so, 15 years.
Yeah. And yeah, he's definitely had some misses, some swing and misses. Rage in particular was his baby, and it was a dud. But yeah, he was there for like, I believe, like, didn't he do like most of the maps on all of the maps on the original fucking Doom? I believe he designed, or on the shareware version of Doom, he designed all those maps, or most of. I vaguely remember John Romero teeing off about the idea of him doing all of them. So maybe not all of them.
He was a level designer, yes.
Absolutely a level designer. He was a level designer on Quake 3. He may or may not have created The Longest Yard. I remember looking into this ages ago and nobody would give me a definitive answer, but yeah, he was involved in the development of The Longest Yard. That's Q3 DM17. That super dumb level that's out in space and has the railgun out on the fucking on the platform all the way out. Everyone's favorite level, even though it's the fucking worst. Yeah. He was a big part of gaming history. But he's decided to retire, I suppose. Yeah.
Is he retiring?
I think so.
Okay.
Is he not?
Oh, I don't know. I've read this news when you put it in here before, so I don't really know what's going on. It just seems he doesn't seem that old.
He announced his resignation. Yeah, it doesn't say.
I mean, maybe Rage 2 just didn't do as well as what they'd hoped.
Yeah, true.
And he's taken the fall for it.
Maybe. I'm surprised someone who's been at id for that long, seeing how every other person at id has a fucking couple of Lamborghinis. I'm surprised that he needs to continue to work. But yeah, maybe. Hang on, according to Twitter, after QuakeCon, I will announce my future plans, where I'm going, and what new exciting things I'm doing. Stay tuned. So he's doing something. But.
Yeah. I feel like it's probably. I mean, it could be something big.
Could be.
Yeah, unless it purely is that. I mean, the thing is, if he is taking the fall for Rage, then he probably wouldn't have something lined up this quickly.
True.
QuakeCon is next week, I believe. So yeah, maybe he's starting up a new studio, or he's joining someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Maybe.
All right. Yeah, no, like he's a very passionate dude. I've met him a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of times I had the chance to interview him a bunch. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
You know, you may not like some of the games he's done, but he's super passionate about what he does, and
yeah,
he definitely believed a lot in Rage, even if it didn't pan out as much. Yeah, I didn't mind the second one. It was alright.
Yeah.
It was a good shooter. But anyway, yeah, definitely keen to see what he does next.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, next on Borderlands 3 trailer. They were sending out media kits for these. They sent out roses to people with a little like pamphlet thing that said come together and like join us.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. You've got one floating around somewhere, I believe.
Yeah.
And so this started a lot of speculation as to what was going on, because they were dropping like a timestamp type of thing on these packages they were sending out, and also saying on Twitter and social media like, hey, we're dropping a trailer at this time. And so yeah, people were trying to figure out what was going on. And then before the trailer dropped, Randy Pitchford came out on Twitter and said that it has nothing to do with cross-platform play, which is what people were speculating.
Yeah.
From the wording that was coming into this this marketing.
Just people reading too much into largely nothing.
I was on social media that morning. It was like 6 o'clock, I think, about that stage. I'd gotten a bit of sleep. I think it was the day after I got in.
Yep.
And I watched the trailer when it dropped and was pretty surprised, because they hyped up a trailer that was just literally a trailer.
Yep. Yeah, it was just a trailer. This is a cool trailer. Very psychedelic, but yeah. Seemed like a lot of spend for a trailer.
Yeah. Like there was nothing. It wasn't really an announcement of anything. It was just a trailer.
Yeah. Like you didn't get any new information or anything. You'd be hard pressed to say any of it was necessarily gameplay related, right?
It was confusing. To me, it felt like they had something to announce,
right?
And then it didn't come through in time. So like, fuck, we got this trailer. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because the cross-platform play is something they talked about, and it sounds like they're working on it. It's just not going to be ready for launch.
Yeah.
So it's possible that maybe they thought that it was going to be ready, so they were working on this trailer, and then they found out like, oh no, actually, it's not going to be done on time. But let's just put a trailer out anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a strange thing to hype up and then not have it really be an event. It was just, yeah, I don't know. It was such a weird thing to do.
It was pretty odd, but yeah, it did give me the opportunity to practice tracking in Premiere, because I made a sweet GIF. Did you see my sweet GIF?
I sure didn't.
How did you not? I sent it. Oh my lord, this is unbelievable.
Sent it to me.
Sent it to you. Yes, you. Did I send it to everyone? I think I sent it to. I think I put it on our Discord. No, I didn't put it on our Discord.
Oh, I haven't looked at Discord.
Well, I didn't put it on the Discord anyway. I put it in our chat. It's got to be here. Yep, here. Here it is. I'll send it to you again. I'll chuck it in the Discord.
Okay. I will. Do I have to look at it right now?
Yeah, you do, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see how my recording handles that.
Just,
it's got updates. It's downloading updates.
All right, don't worry about it. Let it go.
Let
it go. Let it go.
Oh, now it's installing updates.
Gold.
This is what happens when you go
We're
away for a
fucked.
week.
We're so fucked.
Yeah.
This render's never happening.
It's gonna be like, you must restart your computer now, and then we'll lose the file.
Yep. At least we'll have my portion of the recording, because you weren't saying that much anyway.
Yeah, we can just dub in the rest of it.
Yeah. When you're less jet lagged, or sorry, sleepy.
Sleepy.
All right. Anyway, it's in the Discord, Gap Discord. If you want to check it out, it is a fantastic GIF. I don't think
No
2K.
jokes. Okay. Yep.
But look at the tracking on Nick Cage's face. It's so good.
How do you track in? Well, like, what is it? Is you put dots on things or something?
No, they didn't do auto tracking. I just did manual tracking. That's why it's not that good.
Okay.
If I'd done auto tracking, it could have like turned around with his face and everything. But yeah. Anyway, so Supermassive confirms multiplayer for Man of Medan
I was a
and
Man of Medan.
it comes in two forms.
Yeah. So this is Supermassive's follow-up to a bunch of their sort of interactive video game movie style projects that they've done recently. Obviously, the last big one they worked on that we really liked was called
Until Dawn.
That's the one. And they worked on a couple others.
So we didn't like
then.
as much, but
yeah, they were a bit smaller, sort of bite-sized adventures.
Yeah.
And this one is seems to be a bit more sort of in the Until Dawn sort of direction. But what they're doing with the couch co-op sounds interesting. It'll be being able to play with multiple people, so two characters playing at the same time, independently from one another. So you'll be able to actually see on the screen what both characters are doing. So they might not necessarily be at the same location. So someone could be, in one spot in the game and someone else is somewhere else, but they're both controlling at the same time and making their own decisions that could ultimately affect how that entire story comes out. The other way is called a movie night mode, which allows up to 4 friends the chance to play a different type of couch co-op. And so you'll be able to basically sort of like pass the gamepad around whenever someone...
So you'll assign yourself... 5 people will play into their names, and then you assign yourself to a character in the game, and then you pass your controller to the person when their character is the focus of the game. Yeah, I think that's an interesting one. I don't think I will play that. I would be more inclined to play it just regular, the same way I played Until Dawn, like with my wife, with one person controlling and
someone else making the decisions.
Yeah. Or alternatively, I would play what was the detective one we played where people voted? I would play that if it had a better story, because I just didn't think the detective one had a very good story. That was Supermassive as well, right?
Yeah, it was hidden agenda,
and
that was the one where you used your phone.
Yeah.
And you'd select the choices on the screen, and then it'd sort of just randomly assign a choice if it was split 50-50 or like the percentage of people that had the highest votes and would continue the story that way.
Yeah.
This is more like a I guess the reason why they're doing it this way is to make it more interactive for people, so they all get to kind of go to play it, as opposed to just one person playing it and doing what the other people are saying.
Yeah, like I get it. I just knowing like the reason Until Dawn worked in my household was because my wife didn't feel the pressure of having to be good at a control pad or whatever.
You can play one player. You can play it the same way you were playing it before. So I can stop you.
Yeah, all I'm saying is like this. I probably would not play. If 5-player mode sounds interesting, but the people I would play it with wouldn't want to play it that way, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess could do 5-player mode and I just hold on to the controller and it's my wife and I just do whatever the fuck she says I'm supposed to do. It'd be the same as going shopping. Oh, take my wife. Oh, please, take her. It's a bit of classic comedy.
Yeah. All right, that's out pretty soon, next month.
Yeah, sick. I'm well in for it. Yeah, as long as it's as good as Until Dawn.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah,
hopefully. And that's the news of the week.
The news in brief. All right, cool. Let's do some questions, shall we?
We definitely have questions.
We've got questions.
Because I opened it up just then, and then I saw some, and then I closed it.
Ah, yes. Well, all right. Johnny Bravo writes, "Hey gents, what are your thoughts on the growing amount of vectors to gain in-game stuff that fall outside the base game or DLC? Apex has a progression path through the Battle Pass, but then you can also get some skins through a Twitch Prime subscription. Borderlands 3 has multiple layers of the game you can buy, which give you different things. Now you get more stuff just by registering for the Vault Insider program. game plus deluxe or ultimate deluxe or super deluxe or mega deluxe plus pass plus subscription plus pre-order bonus plus registration on a site plus microtransactions. Is it too much? Luke, thoughts?
You lost me at vectors. I started thinking about like fucking pictures.
PUBG games, guns.
Yeah. Right. So I am not a fan of the multiple SKUs of games.
Yeah.
I know that when I reviewed, what was it, NBA 2K, I think 18,
Yep.
the last one, I knocked it down points purely because it had multiple SKUs.
Right.
And then it was like, if you got this one, you got more VC, which ultimately makes you a more powerful character.
Yeah.
In their online multiplayer.
True.
Create a character mode. I don't like any of that stuff. I don't like the Ultimate Edition things people are doing where you get to play the game early, whether it's 3 days or a week early, depending on what publisher you are. Like, I think Microsoft has done it a lot with their titles, like they play it 3 days early. EA does it with their premium pass. You've got to have your EA pass and then some other thing on top of that to play it 10 days early, and then if you've got this specific pass and you can play it 3 days early. It's just, yeah, I don't like any of it. I think it's dumb. It's stupid.
What about Twitch Prime skins and stuff like that? What do you think of those?
I think that's fine. That's just like an extra incentive, I guess, if you've got that stuff. Like, I don't know who's buying Twitch Prime to get skins in games. It seems more like it just you've got Twitch Prime because you like subscribing to people, or you've got an Amazon account,
right?
Amazon Prime account, and so that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
I've just not really been a thing for me.
It's never really impacted me either. I could see how it would be a problem if you were like compulsively collecting stuff, because I don't know if like some stuff is pretty time limited, so that might be pretty tricky. But yeah, it's never been a real problem for me because it's sort of just like, yeah, I get it as a value add. It sort of makes sense. I do understand I think JB's point is that it's getting a little bit complicated, like the concept of full ownership of a game. Like, to fully own a game now, you need your game plus Ultimate Deluxe Edition plus a subscription plus some sort of pass plus the pre-order bonuses plus the Vault Insider registration and then microtransaction. Like, that is definitely getting complex. I don't like it. I do understand why it happens. Essentially, I mean, we're in a place now where the economy of game development is such that they're trying to extend the lifespan of a studio beyond gold, and so they're generally using all of this kind of stuff in an attempt to extend that lifespan, to keep devs employed. It's not for altruistic reasons. It's generally that, like, the reason they're trying to do this is because it is something like a 300% increase to train a new staff member over keeping retaining staff.
Sure.
And so if you have a period of, like, if the period of time between keeping a start, like letting everyone fucking go at the end of making a game, right? So if the period of time after the end of the game before the start of making the new game is below a certain threshold, then it is like just not economically wise to let everyone go. But at the same time, they don't want to have a fucking studio of people sitting there doing nothing until the next project comes up, right? And so, yeah, they're basically trying to give them, like, come up with excuses to make people fucking work. Essentially, yeah, it'd be easy to spin it into some sort of like good thing. Oh, they're trying to keep devs employed, but it's literally because they're trying to tread water until the next project starts. Because of, like I said, yeah, I think it's 300%. Like, so if you account for that, right, and don't take like what's a pay increase from completing a full game or a full year of work, right? Like it's adjusted for inflation 6% or some shit, right? Like, yeah, 6% would be a good fucking raise, right? So a 300% change is massive, and to account for that, you would be looking at something like 4 months, right? So if the difference between end of game when you fucking fire everyone and start a new project is going to be 4 months, then you're better off keeping everyone. But even then, you're still like from there, you're still pretty much better off keeping everyone for a range of other little reasons as well. So yeah, that's why they're doing it. They're basically just trying to fucking keep everyone on board. And so yeah, they're inventing new reasons for people to be there. They're inventing the pass, the subscription, the DLC. Every little thing you're seeing is just tiny excuses to keep people on board. Yeah. Anyway, my thoughts, basically, not wild about it, understand why it happens.
Yeah. I haven't looked too much into the VIP Insiders program for Borderlands. As far as I know, it's sort of similar to the like the way that Ubisoft does their Uplay points. Like, hey, you've completed an achievement, so you get points. Now you can spend those points on something. It can range from things like to wallpapers to audio tracks to skins in games and things like that.
Right.
I think it's similar to the way that works, but it's more tied to doing things within their eco structure of Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Cool. Otherwise, I don't really know much about the SKUs. I'm trying to look at them quickly, what they come with, but I'm not really seeing much. Like the Borderlands 3 Deluxe Edition.
I don't know.
It seems like it's just got skins.
Right.
It's got the loot drop boost mod as well. I don't like that.
Does that mean you get more loot or some shit?
Yeah.
Weird. That's dumb. All right.
They're more XP. They had those in the games last.
They have more
game.
like more loot.
I don't know if it was more loot, but it was like you could get the mods to attach things, and sometimes it'd be like more experience gained on kills and whatnot.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't think they weren't like necessarily selling them.
Yeah.
This is more like it's a thing that they're selling, or it's part of a pack. Anyway, it'd probably be something used more early game as opposed to, unless it's an actual slot, like a boost mod slot, then that's fucked. But if it's just a part of if it's just a mod slot and it's one of the things you can put in there,
yeah,
it's fine, whatever.
Yeah. All right, Dangers writes, morning, Lukies and Joberman. On a similar note to JB's point, why the fuck are there so many different kinds of game editions these days? Luke answered.
I already talked about that.
That's good. Good one, Luke, because you didn't answer JB's question because you're sleepy, quote unquote. Sorry, I mean, I am definitely super excited to go on Uplay and buy the Super Golden Edition Deluxe Season Pass Megatron updated Pornhub Premium Ghost Assassin Starter Booster version of the latest installment of one of their popular franchises, so I can wear a different shade of blue. Maybe also a nice star on my hat. Yeah, you should be excited. Do you know my favorite one of these is the Pathfinder Twitch skin in Apex? Is one of the fucking ugliest skins I've ever seen in my entire life, and I cannot understand why Twitch wanted to be involved with this shit. It is just this gaudy fucking shiny purple bullshit, and you're like, why? Like, I got it because why wouldn't you? But Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think you just had to I think you modified your launch parameters to like Twitch equals true or some shit for Apex, and then you get the skin. But yeah, it's hideous. It's disgusting. I'm never going to use it. Of all the different shades of blue. Twitch purple is definitely one of the uglier ones. But yeah, good question, Dangers, that we already answered. So think that one through, mate. You know, think ahead. Think ahead a little.
Yeah. What would Jobo do?
What would Joberman do? No, good stuff. Thanks for writing in. I believe we have finished this podcast.
We've finished. Yes, thank you. You can find us on iTunes, Android, Windows Store, Spotify, YouTube, all those places. The Gap, the GA Podcast, search for us. And if you've got time, please rate and review the show. Helps other people find it. If you'd like to send us questions, you can email us to gapodcast@gmail.com. I don't know if anyone's emailed us on there. I haven't checked.
Good one.
I know we do get emails, but usually it's like PR stuff.
You're supposed to be on top of that shit.
Yeah, I haven't been here. You can also send us questions on our Discord page, thejpodcast.com/Discord, like JB and like Dangers have done in the last couple of days.
Yep.
If you go to that site, you'll be able to jump in Discord. We've got a bunch of channels on there, voice channels, people playing games and whatnot. Good fun. Or it's just Joe posting GIFs.
I do post GIFs.
Yep.
I made that GIF myself.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, you know, nobody makes GIFs. I make GIFs.
You make GIFs.
I get no love for
my
GIFs. Yeah, I made this. Yeah. Anyway.
You can find us on social media, facebook.com/GAPodcast, twitter.com/GAPodcast. You can go to our YouTube page, thegapodcast.com/YouTube if you want to watch Job in a fox onesie.
These are corgis, my friend.
Okay. It's a fox.
And it is not a onesie. It is a, what are they called? Some sort of, an Oodie, I believe it's called.
An Oodie.
Oodie, yeah.
Yep.
No H.
Buying into
Oodie. That. It is, honest to God, one of the most comfortable things of all time. I'm literally...
Yeah, because you spent $400 on it. Of course it's the most comfortable.
It's $100, and it is
and I bought 4
spectacular. And it is my wife's, and if she finds out I've been wearing it, I will be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, I've already screenshotted it. It's on the way.
Just a dick move. That is a dick move.
You can also find us on a website called thegapodcast.com. You can look at all the past episodes of the show we've done, including all the links to the things we just spruiked out just then. If you want to go to that, you do that. It's very easy to find. It's on the browser. I'm not sure if you've heard of this before.
Browser?
Yes, you open it and you type in stuff and things come up.
Interesting.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Interesting if true.
That's all thanks to our Patreon members. If you want to help support the show, go to patreon.com/GAPodcast. Thank you to everyone who does that every month.
You're the best.
Subscribe to the show. And I think that is it. Have anything you want to talk about that you've been writing about this week?
Yeah, thanks to our patrons, first of all. And secondly, go check out my big deconstruction of ranked mode in Apex. It's pretty good, I think. And stay tuned for how a game becomes an esport, which will be up whenever my editor decides to actually read it, I guess. So
is it just when Joab says so and then that's it? Boom.
Oh, dude, I have the broadest fucking definition of esports. And I think that's why it's taking so long for it to go up. Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's a good write-up. It's very long.
Nice.
I have no idea when it's going to go up. Yeah, it's good stuff. What do you got, Luke?
Nothing at the moment.
Because you're not allowed to write about any.
Because I'm not allowed to talk about it yet.
I'll see. Nice.
So yeah, definitely soon. I don't even know what. I have to look at my NDA for next week, like when that's coming out. I don't even know. So yeah, I'm on another trip next week, and I get back on Friday, so we have to record again on Friday. So sorry to everyone it's going up a bit late. But hopefully we can talk about this stuff soon. It'll be good.
That would be good. Yeah.
It'll be good when we can.
What, did you record any footage? Or like, are we going to have footage of these games when you can talk
footage?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool.
I'm not sure about this next trip.
Right.
If there's going to be footage. I literally haven't looked. I don't even know the one after
Imagine going on. The one after it will 1000% have fucking footage. It did fucking want to. I cannot imagine releasing a game in 2019 and not allowing people to fucking walk away with footage. I'm staggered at 2 of the games that I'm not allowed to talk about, that I'm not allowed to fucking talk about them. Because how have we come to this? Like, one of them is fucking, except for, don't worry about it. But Jesus Christ, yeah, cooked. Anyway,
Love some stuff. All right, thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Next week.
Bye.